guys, Harv here, and welcome back to the Kerbal space program. This is our series in which we go to every planet and back in one mission. Now, I've had a few interesting ideas since I uploaded the first episode yesterday, or first episode yesterday for me, definitely not for you. And it's all come down to the fact that we're going to be going to a planet, then coming back and refueling, and then going to a planet and coming back and refueling. Wouldn't it be much easier to go to a planet, go to another planet, go to the next planet, then the next planet, and refuel there? People are thinking now, oh, he's going to use Kethane. No, I'm not going to use Kethane. Before us, we're going to send some fuel tanks out. Fuel tanks enough to refuel the ship. Maybe not entirely, maybe just enough for the next jump. But we're going to send out fuel carriers and orbit the planets we intend to go to. And then we'll be able to rendezvous with them in the planet's orbit and directly go from one planet to another. It's going to be the same. Actually, no, it's going to be a bit more fuel because we're going to have to send fuel there as well. But it'll be quite a good idea, I think. It sounds like something really interesting, and it will make for a much more enjoyable show, I think. Hopefully. So that's, I think, what we're going to aim for. And also, before we go to Moho, of course, we have to send out a fuel tank, and even before we do that, we have to design it. And before we do that, there's one more thing I want to test, using one more bit of rocket science maths. People complaining, oh, KSBs for slapping things together. Well, not to this professional level, it isn't. This is the level at which we do science before we fly these things. So, I saw a comment saying that, oh, I like the design, but it seems like with one nuclear engine and all that fuel, you're going to be there burning for 10 minutes, mate. And I've always said that I value how quickly you can do a burn as much as I value everything else. Like the efficiency, the distance you can travel. If you can do it quickly and painlessly, you're going to have a much more enjoyable experience. So if we find our craft in its entirety, which is this, and I should have a name for it at the end, or at some point I'm going to pick a name. Damn it, I forgot to choose. But there we go, we have this. If we'll delete it temporarily. So this is our stage that's going to be going, or we think is going to be going. Might change this, because that is one nuclear engine pushing this entire thing. Now, how do we know how long each burn is going to take without obviously going out there and doing it? Well, it's part of the same thing that we did last time, which is finding out the acceleration. F equals ma, force equals mass times acceleration. The force of this engine is... where is it? The force, action, mass, 60 newtons. 60 newtons of force. So our acceleration equals our force divided by our mass, and our total mass. We have 60 newtons of force. And our total mass, come on. Please don't break on us. Oh, is it going to break? No, it's not going to break. Okay. Our total mass is 48.01 tons. So 60 divided by 48.01 gives us an acceleration of 1.249736963 yeah, meters per second squared. Really? That is really quite slow, isn't it? And yet, still from that, we can't really gauge how long each burn's going to take us. Well, we got something very useful sent in. Someone messaged me through YouTube, and we don't know if it's correct because it's one of the things that we can't actually do without, well, there's probably some calculations for it, but we can't, as of yet, find out how much delta V is required to do each section without actually testing it ourselves. You know what, having said that, I'm challenging people. No, I'm not going to challenge you, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to find some maths that lets me find out exactly how much delta V is required to go to another planet from each planet's orbit, or something like that. But maybe I won't bother because we do have this here. And if this is correct, this is going to tell us exactly how much delta V is actually required for each stage. So to get into Kerbal orbit, there we go, low Kerbal orbit is there. To get into solar orbit, I'm assuming this is solar orbit. Or Kerbal intercept. Oh, this is returning to Kerbal. This is returning to Kerbal, isn't it? All the arrows are pointing down towards Kerbin. Is that going to be different from going to Kerbin? Or going from Kerbin? Maybe not. Maybe not. Shouldn't do. Okay, we'll treat it as it is. So we have 950 from low Kerbin orbit. If we'll put that in, 950 meters per second change. That's feasible. I can understand that. To get into... Actually, really? Really? Maybe. Yes, maybe. 950, and then intercept with Moho is plus another 730. That seems reasonably unreasonably low. I'm beginning to doubt this. To actually get into a low Moho orbit is apparently 2,200 meters per second. That seems really optimistic. That seems incredibly optimistic. That tells us that we're only going to use 3,880 meters per second of delta V to actually go and get captured around Moho. I hope it's true, but I find it unlikely. Oh well. Oh well, we'll make do. We'll use that for now. So if our acceleration was, what was it, 1 point... I've actually forgotten. God damn it, I should have written this down before using my calculator. I think it was something like 1.12 meters per second squared, wasn't it? Something like that. Hang on, we can do it again. We can do it again. So we have 3,880 delta V to do, and our 60 units of thrust divided by our 48.01 ton mass gave us, yes, it gave us a 1.24 or 1.25 if we round it, 1.25 meters per second squared of acceleration. So we have meters per second that we have to complete, and we have the acceleration. From that we can get the time by doing meters per second divided by meters per second squared. So 3,880 meters per second complete divided by 1.25 equals 3,104 seconds. Okay, divide that by 60, that is 51 minutes. 51 minutes, really. Have I done something wrong? No, I don't think so. 51 minute burn. I probably have done something wrong. That actually seems really unreasonable. I am pretty sure I've gone somewhere wrong. But even so, having said that, that seems like a possibility now that it's going to take that long. We really can't afford that. I mean, I don't think it's going to take that long of actual burning time, this is. If we were to, you know, be on 4 times acceleration the entire time, it would only be 12-minute burn, split along those, split along 1, 2, 3, oh wait, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, just 3, split by 3. So if we were to evenly split it by 3, it'd be about a 4-minute burn each time. I don't know. I think we need more thrust or less fuel. Because if we're going to Moho, and if we're going to be refueling with something there, we probably don't need this amount of fuel. What if we don't? Maybe we don't need that amount of fuel. It's possible, isn't it? And of course, thinking now, if we can't get this payload up off of Moho orbit, then... well, I'm going to take these off anyway. If we can't get this payload up back off of Moho and get it into orbit to dock, then we're going to have to take another payload with us on those refueling vessels. Out of interest, I want to see how much delta V this thing has, comparatively. It's probably going to have a hell of a lot less, and in fact it will have a hell of a lot less. But I'd still like to see. I'm going to call this Mark IV, just for safekeeping. So, how much are we minusing the mass by again? Sorry, I know it's a lot of calculations, not much gameplay as of yet, but this is what I do. Or this is what I'm starting to do. Total mass of 9, dry mass of 1, so we minus it by 8. We have an ISP of 800. Let me get up my rocket equation calculator. ISP is 800. Our initial mass is Nope. No, I want the planet. I want my ship, not the planet. There we go. Our initial mass is now only 19. 19.03 tons. It's a lot lighter craft. It's going to go a lot faster. 19.03 minus that by 8 is 11.03. If we calculate delta V, we have 4,276. Rounded. 4,276 meters per second. Now, according to the map that we just had up, according to that, that's enough to take us to Moho. To get into orbit around Moho. Now, do we trust it? I think I'm going to put a bit more fuel on there, because that seems a bit ridiculous, but we could trust it. We could trust it, we could go for it, and we'd be able to refuel there and go on to the next planet. Might not have enough Delta V to get to another planet, haven't thought about that, but Moho actually does take one of the most Delta V to get to. If not the most. Could arguably take the most because of inclination change. And I don't know if that map has factored in inclination change. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to add a bit more fuel onto this. We're going to do one last calculation. And then we're going to go for it. Because the time it would take to do those burns would be unreasonable. So, hey, why don't we do something a bit better? Now, these have total mass of 9. These have total mass of 2.25. Is there any compromise? This one, maybe? Total mass of 4.5. That's directly in the middle. Could have this. If it would go on. Yeah? There we go. I think that's going to be our new stage. Or our final stage. I think that's going to be it. Now, I'm trusting this thing's going to have a lot quicker acceleration than 1.25 meters per second squared. I'm not going to bother calculating it because I think it's time to actually go on and do some flying. But I'm going to calculate the delta V. So I'm going to save that. We're going to launch again. Our ISB is 800 still. We are now minusing... God damn, I didn't find out. Hang on, we should be minusing 4. We should be minusing 4 because it's half the size of those tanks. Is my guess correct? We have total... yes, we're minusing 4 because it's half the size. Okay. So now we're minusing 16 because we have 2 lots of 4 and 1 lot of 8. So our ISP is 800. Our initial mass is 28.03. 28, and if we're minusing 16 from 28, we're going to get 14.03. Is that right? Nope, I don't think that is. Hang on. No, it's going to be 26, isn't it? Minusing 16, we're going to be getting 16.03, because plus 6 takes us up to 22 plus a... No, hang on, we're minusing 16. Why can't I think? What's wrong with me? Minusing 16, it's 12. 2 lots of 8. 2 lots of 4, 1 lot of 8. 12. So... Yes. Yes, that's correct. God damn, I feel really stupid sometimes. Okay, and there we go. We get 6,631 meters per second of delta V for this final design. I think that's what we're going to go with. We're going to call that final design in my document of delta V. Delta V document. Yeah, I should call it that. 6,631.6 meters per second of delta V. And our acceleration is going to be okay. We're going to be okay with this acceleration. Right, now all we need to do is go back to our VAB and put our guys in it on the original version over here, and then we can launch and go for Moho after we send fuel there. Yes, we need to send fuel there first, don't we? Or can we send it after? No, I prefer to do a continuous hop, so we'll send the fuel there first. And this thing isn't going to have RCS capabilities, I've just realised, so our fuel tank is going to have to do the movement. Does that make sense? I don't think it does make sense, actually. Oh, there's advanced SAS here. There was, wasn't there? Advanced SAS? Yes? Yeah. Okay, so nothing much has changed other than the fuel tanks. But are we going to be Are we going? Yeah, we're going to have to put some sort of RCS on here, aren't we? Which means we're not going to get quite the delta V we just calculated. Some tanks there, some struts there, and some more struts there. Okay. Right. Is this thing even going to work remotely after all an hour and 15 minutes of work on this? How successful is it actually going to be? I don't know, but I'm reasonably confident. I'm reasonably confident that we'll be able to make it work somehow, to some level, to some degree. That should be everything remaining the same in terms of decoupling, and then engine fire, and then those engines fire. Okay, save that. Oh no, we need to put on some struts down here again. Just put 3 there. Nope, 2 of them can do that. For some reason this one can't. Move it up slightly. Huh. Why can only 2 do that? Hang on. Let me put it on to 4 times symmetry. And just put it on here. And go straight up. There we go. Okay, that should help. Right. And that should be that. Now, do we send the fuel tank first? Yes, I think we do, but we need to add RCS onto this thing. We need to add some RCS on. Can't forget the RCS. So, how about we just put bare minimum of 80 units. Is that going to be sufficient? Oh, well, we better hope. No, we'll do 160 units. Put it there. Put it there. Or is that where the RCS thrusters are going to go? Hang on. Center of mass is round about there. Okay, so our RCS thrusters will go up here. About there. There we go. Again, giving us less delta V, less bang for our buck. But hopefully we'll be able to do it. Just hopefully. A lot of it's riding on hope now, because we don't know how much delta V is actually going to take us to get to Moho. This is all hope. And if you'll excuse me for a quick moment, I'm going to load up our first episode, and I'm going to choose a name. Because even though we're not actually flying this thing yet... Oh, has my internet connection died? Nope, no it hasn't. I'm going to choose a name. See if we've got any in the comments. Nope, not. And mute the video. Pause the ad. There we go. Okay, so as of now named Mark 1. Ah, well done. As of now named. Huh. I actually quite like that. Seeing as for 2 episodes and a half we've had as of yet nameless. I may actually use that. As of now named. Name it Toby the Tug. No thanks. Tortoise Explorer. Nope. Spaceship on a Stick. Spaceship on a Stick Mark 1. I like that. It actually does look kind of remotely kind of like it's on stick. Globetrotter? Nope. KSS Union Jeb? Nah. No. Furious Bull, Iron Eagle, The Bouncer, Fasters. You Stole Sky's Minecraft's intro. Nah, I don't like that one. I'm gonna call it. This sounds like trolling, but I'm going to call it as of now named. I'm going to actually call it as of now named. As of now named Mark 1. God, I can't believe that. Most ridiculous name, but it doesn't really matter, does it? Because it's the function, not the naming. The function matters. As of now named Mark 1. Thank you very much for the guy who suggested that. How did I overlook that? Okay, that's our ship, as of now named. Now, are we going to send a refueler? Let's get this thing into orbit. Let's put this thing in orbit, so we actually do some flying now, because we've only got 10 minutes left, and then we'll design a bit of a refueler. As of now named Mon makes its way onto the pad. Hopefully I can remember my action groups, and we've got the original 3. one of these original three is going to be landing on the surface of Moho, you know, and maybe not coming back. Maybe not coming back, we'll see. But let's have a look. Oh dear, wait. We've got perfect inclination for a craft to be sent to Moho. But not for a craft to be sent and then we wait a year, or wait a day and another craft be sent, because it won't work. Shall we send out 2 craft at the same time? I've done that before, and it works. It takes a bit of planning, but yes, we can do that. We can send the refueler and we can send the actual pusher at the same time to Moho. Launching this in 3, 2, 1, lift off. Turn off gimballing. Okay. Man. We're getting some in-depth planning going on here. So the plan is to send... next we're going to build a quick refueling ship. Shouldn't be too hard. It'll probably end up being a nuclear engine with 2 grade tanks on top of it. These 2 grade tanks. And a probe and a generator. Maybe it's just that. Maybe. Or maybe a person. But if there's no room, if we do bring back the guy from the surface of Moho, there won't be any room. And they won't be able to join us on the mission, and they'll be stranded. So we can't do a person, it's got to be a probe. Okay, well we can think of something to do. We can think whilst we're designing. Actually no, we might as well think now, seeing as getting to orbit actually takes quite a while, and well, it's not an awful lot of things to do. So, we're going to send a probe, we're going to give him a generator, some fuel, and an engine. Will it need RCS? Because a probe carrying that much fuel, they can't turn with any really reasonable amount of force or torque. So I'm thinking we're going to have to put at least a little bit of RCS onto him, which isn't necessarily a problem. Not necessarily. I mean, I prefer not to. It'll give us more delta V in the end, save us more fuel for refueling. But at the end of the day, we've got a lot less fuel to refuel now. And especially if we're not bothering... Ooh, look at that. Hahaha, wow. That was lucky. That could have gone horribly wrong. Could have killed our pilots. And yes, I'm not intending to kill any pilots. That's the hope. Hopefully no one will die. It's not going to be a permadeath, but it's just going to be more of a goal. But, yeah, a probe... What was I going to say? The probe shouldn't have to actually have that much fuel, because if we're not coming back, then we don't have that much fuel to refill, because we will still have some in the tanks, if we have enough delta V to actually get us to Moho, which is still a bit up in the air. I've had it from Scott Manley before. They get into Moho, takes more like 5,000 meters per second of delta V, and we do have 6,600, so that should be okay. But 5,000 from Scott Manley is far amount off of the map, isn't it? And the map's 3,800. And of course, we should all trust the word of Scott Manley. I'm serious, we actually should. He's got probably one of the most experienced players this game's ever seen. Oh, 80,000. Oh, we don't want to be in a 90-kilometer orbit. Oh, well, I guess we're in a 90-kilometer orbit. I wasn't paying attention to my orbiting. I was being silly. Ah, silly me. And hey, I've just remembered we've got the remainder of this tank here. Because we're going to definitely get into orbit with fuel left to spare in our launch stage. And I've already said before, we are going to be using it to get us a bit more of the way. Imagine if we actually got the entire way to Moho just with the launch stage. That would be incredible. And highly unlikely. We want to bring this down. We want to try and bring this down now. If we thrust like this, we should be able to bring it down to 80 in time. Maybe not 80. Close. 78 kilometers. We're at currently 79. Oh, I can double click on this, can't I? Oh dear. Nope, I didn't have as fast as yes on. Brilliant. But at least now I've double clicked on that, and it'll actually keep our thing. Come on, go below the horizon. We need to thrust downwards so that we're not still increasing our apoapsis. But we are increasing our speed. Oh, those engines have run out. We'll drop them. There we go. And now we are at this 84-kilometer apparatus. That's okay. 84 kilometers is alright. I can deal with 84. We can still lower it a bit more by letting ourselves drop back down towards Kerbin. And once we hit 80 kilometers, we'll thrust up to bring our apparatus down towards 80 kilometers. And we can do that, in fact, and that's what we're going to do. And we have got 5 minutes left of this episode. See, this is live commentary. Things get done rather slowly. But it's quite nice as well. It's quite nice for the entire process to be seen. It's a change of things for me, certainly. Okay, so now I'm going to bring the apparatus back down to its 81-kilometer mark. And we're going astray. We're having a really bad inclination. Ooh. What's our... Oh, actually, no, our inclination's okay. Maybe I actually helped it by doing that. Okay, now just circularize. 81-kilometer apparatus. And, go on. Tip upwards. Ah, this is the problem, having such a massive ship. Half fuel left in this tank. Or nearly half fuel. And trying to circularize to a fairly good level because... Well, we don't have to rendezvous. No, we're not having to rendezvous actually at this point. But it's still nice to try and get a circular orbit. So there we go, 79 to 82. That's circular enough, surely. We'll point this thing towards the poles, whether north or south, doesn't really matter. Maybe we can spend a little bit of RCS. Hey, the more RCS we use, the less weight we have. Need to remember to actually put RCS into the design of the fuel transport ship. Need to remember to do that. Okay, so we're going to point this thing towards the north, or the south even. And there we go, roughly south, just so it's kind of a 90-degree turn away from action whenever it's needed. Okay, and that's our thing in orbit. Hopefully, we are trusting that this thing will work. Oh, I have got landing lights on it. Oops. I was intending to take them off because we can plan to land on the day side, but okay. I mean, we've got no batteries or generators, so good luck with that, but we do have engines running, which do generate electricity whilst they are running, as we found out in one of the permadeaths. But yeah, this is it. This is what's going to begin the burn to Moho at the same time as a transporter, and we've got 2 minutes left, so we're going to leave that up there in orbit, and we're going to go back here quickly and see if I can't throw together a design using the same launch stage. Because obviously we can use the same launch stage. We can actually just keep that. No, we want to keep that with us. There we go. And we'll move it off to the side and delete all of this and start off a new probe. Going to have mass of this 0.5, 0.1. We'll go for this. Come on, practicality above aesthetic. And we're going to send around... I'm thinking I'm sending about this much fuel. Should be okay. Maybe. We need to give it advanced SES just for my sake. I'd rather have it work like this. Same amount of fuel, but it's more compact, which should make for a bit of easier turning. Oh, actually no, it might make it a bit harder. If there's a gyro up near the probe, if the torque is coming from the probe, it'll actually make it harder, as we kind of briefly touched on in the episode yesterday, or the episode that I recorded yesterday. But the reason I'm going to do this is so that they are separate tanks from the main one, and so we're not going to accidentally use their fuel up. We can try and kind of trust that this is enough fuel to get us to Moho and to get captured into orbit. But there we go. And it shouldn't need to rendezvous either. So, over there we will want to carry RCS. We do want to carry RCS, so we can put... this thing has 100, we have 160 on the ship. Well, there's no point carrying more than we need. I mean, we're not going to be using it, so we'll carry the same amount. Same amount that it has capacity for. Yeah, 160. There we go. that might be our probe. Oh no, we need a generator. Sorry, we need a generator, and we need docking ports. Oh dear. Oh, hang on. How are we going to transfer fuel without docking ports? Well, there is a docking port on the ship. There is a docking port. There's one connecting the payload. There's a docking port connecting the payload to the pusher. Okay. Undock from the payload, come dock with the fuel reserve, and go back and dock with the payload. Oh, dearie me. Ah, that was an oversight. Oh well, it's not too much of a problem, I'm sure. It should be perfectly fine. And we can just put that sneaky down there. Ah, how did I not realise that? Damn it. It's a mistake I've made before as well, which makes it all the worse. But maybe this will work. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. We'll find out in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching this episode of our every to every planet and back mission. Because that's what I'm calling it now, to every planet and back. I'm so much unimaginative. Thank you very much for watching it. Hopefully you did enjoy this despite the lack of... well, it is gameplay. It's rocket science, it's gameplay. But lack of flying and actual mission undertaking. We've got to plan it. I don't want anything to go wrong. So, thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, please do like the video. And I shall see you all in the next one.